Oh, Turtle Club. Hey, how's it going? Look at this. This is something that we didn't think was going to happen in a very long time because a lot of different things, and my goodness, we are back to streaming Arc. So, a few things. Number one, no face cam at the moment. There's a couple things being moved around in the Turtle Cave. We are we're pretty much settled with a lot of things that we're looking for, and we were hoping to get this stream going at like uh, 5 a.m. Eastern for the foreseeable future. Streams are going to be 5 a.m. Eastern on Sundays for Arc. We're aiming to stream that for 3 hours because I now have to stand and move and do a few other things to kind of take care of some stuff in the house during this. We'll have some frequent breaks, but uh, we're gonna have some fun with it. We have three maps that we're using. The first one that we're using is on this cluster, this event map, and I'm not 100% sure how I feel about a map that looks like this. But there are two event kind of maps that have been built in the system for people wanting to play things on Arc, and this one is like the RR event map. It's got some really cool stuff in it. This is basically like a blank canvas. I mean, there is some resources, there are a few other things, but we are going to use a mod called Simple Spawners, and between now and next week, this whole entire map is going to have some stuff added to it. The goal is to let you guys see some of the stuff that we got planned for this cluster, and that's going to be this weekend, next weekend, and the weekend following, so 3 Sundays basically, all the way to the end of this month. And then what we're going to wind up doing after that is we're going to open it to our Turtle Club. So you guys are going to be able to see some of the things that we're looking at, some of the things that we're testing. There are several add-ons that we do have, a small number, actually, 13 in total. And they range from some of the more admin-y kind of admin things like the Dino Wipe mod that we like, the Simple Spawners mod that's going to let us do some really cool things on this particular map especially, and the Timmy Carbine's auto rewards. We're using the cluster system for that. One of the things that we plan to use for TC's auto rewards, though, is 3 of these maps are going to be set up for easy and medium and hard for difficulty. And the easy server is going to be one that we know and love here called Dodo Island. If you guys have seen anything involving this channel, you know it's one of the maps that I really, really enjoy. It's very small, it's very lightweight. The map itself is maybe a quarter the size of the island. We're going to set that actual server to be a no-build server. So you'll be able to get on there, you'll be able to do some tames, there'll be some stuff available for it. It'll be really low-key, really low stress. There will be some stuff that you'll be able to do to keep some dinos on there as well. And you know, get some passive income while you're playing on it. It'll be a way for you to explore. The next map is going to be the medium map, and it's going to actually not be this one that I'm on. This is going to be what we call the hard map when it's all said and done. And this particular map, I'm going to be able to get the dinos spawned where I want. I'm going to be able to get the resources to be where I want, because again, very much a blank canvas with what we can do. And so I'm going to be spending a lot of my downtime in between Pokemon grinding to be leveling this place up to where it's going to look like some pretty insane stuff. As you can tell, we do have quite a bit over in this little dead area, and I'm heading toward this Coliseum so that you guys can see what's going to go on here. And then the worst of it is travel time. My SSD on my main gaming rig is full. It's got way too much stuff on it, so unfortunately, instead of having Arc on the SSD, I wish I had the space for it, but Arc is just way too big these days. Oh my goodness. Arc is probably well over 300 gig on my platter drive, and it's a full terabyte drive, so that's 300 gig before the mods get added. Now, thankfully, we did kind of go with a small footprint for the mods. Yeah, let me grab this real quick so you guys can see the mod list. if you can take a look real quick. See, here's the mod list. And these are the mods that we plan to have on this server. So we're going to be doing with like Arc Omega, Nominal Structures, OSM for some admin structure builds, which I'm going to be mainly using on this server. Simple spawners, again, for this server primarily. The Arc Terminal that we love, the Death Recovery mod, Dino Wipe, Dino Tracker, Gazlaw's Auction House mod. We're going to be using this primarily as currency conversion. If people decide that they want to use it for trading and stuff, then we can talk about that. Solar panel, because I like not having to worry about filling up gas generators mainly, and Dino storage. So these are the mods, and you can see here, overall, it's not really all that huge. We're talking about a gig of mods total. So not too much with the mod situation. So there, that's not, it's not too bad. Not too bad. So let's go ahead and get the game back open. Alright. And we have leveling tweaked up a little bit because people like to get going. I've not done much but gather some berries, as you've all seen. I did die once because I was messing with the fly and the walk commands, making sure that the admin services on this server worked. And so, like we usually like to go, we like to go movement speed. And so now we can kind of take a look at some of these mods and what they do. The main biggie on this server is going to be the Arc Omega. Now this here is made by a gentleman named Hexenlord. Guy's amazing for the mod that he made, in my opinion. He's got some stuff that is pretty interesting. So first and foremost, if anyone here has ever played an MMO or has played a game like Fortnite, or a game where you have gear sets and you're able to build a build in like a set of armor that does bonuses or anything along those lines, this is going to be where we start getting this kind of stuff built out here with the Arc Omega workbench and with the MB workbench. Now, the way this game works is there are tiers of dinos, similar to other mods, right? Like Eternal and Primal Fear. And these tiers, you actually get the souls from those dinos, and then those dinos you're able to mash together to get more and more and more things. It sounds a little complicated. It's not. It really isn't. I promise you guys. It is. It is going to be pretty awesome. One of the really cool things also about our Arc Omega is it allows for crossbreeding dinosaurs, which means you can take two different species of dinosaurs, and upon laying an egg, or fertilizing an egg rather, as soon as we already got another mod up. As soon as you get all that done with the egg, when it hatches, it will take physical characteristics, not traits, but characteristics of the dinosaurs. One of the coolest things that drew me to this mod was watching an actual Dodorex walk around. And I know what you're thinking, Mag, there's already a Dodorex in this game. It's a gigantic dodo that's terrifying. But that's not what this is. The Dodorex from Arc Omega is the body of a dodo, the lower half, with the feathers and the chicken legs and everything else, and the upper torso of a Tyrannosaurus Rex. But it's still the size of a dodo. You actually are able to ride it because it's slightly, a little bit larger than dodo, but it is quite comical in its appearance. And I really think Turtle Club that it's going to be quite the treat when we get things like that. There is like crossbreed sloth mammoths, all manner of things, and it really is going to add to some replay value on all of the maps that we have here. Now, we've talked about Dodo Island, and we've talked about this event server. And again, I'm kind of showing off what the sparse event server looks like to begin with, so you guys can get a kind of an idea of what we're dealing with as far as a blank canvas goes. But the other thing, well, good old Arc sound effects, the rain just kind of stopped nowhere and just left, right? But the other thing that I want to bring up is the middle map, the middle tier map. And that's going to be a map known as, I want to say this right. Let me go back to my map list. It is called Anza. ANZAH. Alpha November Zulu Alpha Hotel. And it looks really good. I've actually not set foot on the map yet. I've been working on tweaking all the settings. You know me, guys. I love to know what I'm dealing with as far as base setup goes for the different things on the mods. I like to make sure that I have all my setup for all the character stat points and that kind of thing. And go from there. Now, in here, on this particular server, if you notice, this is like a ginormous coliseum. And that's expected. This right here, with the way this server's built, we should be able to spawn in... Uh-oh, what we got here? Well... Oh, this is Clarence the Convertible Turtle. This is the other account that I have. I had logged off here with him after I had done some exploring on my other laptop. Now, I do have a low-powered laptop. I want to throw that out. I do have it's a quote-unquote low-powered laptop. By that, I mean it's got a 940 MX graphics card. So that's a mobile graphics card with a low-end spectrum. It does have 12 gigabytes of RAM. These days, if you're gaming with 8, you're really not doing yourself any justice. I wish that were not the truth of it, but sadly it is. And it does have a second generation i7. Now, first generation i7s were amazing because they were just completely throw all of the power at it. Second generation i7s not so much. It does play a lot of decent games. It'll do things like Elder Scrolls Online, it'll do things like Ark, but once a server setup gets too heavy, once it gets too populated, that laptop won't load the game. So I've been using that laptop primarily to test most of these maps, most of these mods, to make sure that at the end of the day, those that are in the Turtle Club are going to be able to join this server and enjoy it. And I know not all gaming systems are built the same. I know all computers aren't built the same. I know all internet connections aren't built the same. So I'm trying to keep this to a minimum. I really am. But there's so many quality of life things that ARC players expect on a server that we really weren't able to get away from some of those meatier things. Now, most people would prefer to use something like Structures Plus. That's S Plus or Superstructures. But there's one that Pelic from Arc Servers IO has recommended, which is Nominal Structures. And so we're going to give that a spin on here. If you're not familiar with it, don't worry, neither am I. We are going to be exploring that really fully and making a few adjustments and tweaks here and there. Now, on this particular server, I'm just kind of giving you guys an idea of how large this map is too, because when you first look at this map, you go, oh, well, that's not big at all, Mag. This is going to be horrible, and that was what I was thinking. But this is pretty reasonably sized, So I'm really kind of happy with the way this is playing out so far. But so this open, expansive area, it is going to be buildable. There are going to be some no build zones built in, and I have yet to see any drops here. Up right there. So every 15 minutes on this particular server, there's going to be some ARC rewarded. Now that's another thing about this cluster, guys. On the way it's built is the easy server, you're going to get a low amount of ARC. On the medium server, you're going to get a slightly larger amount of ARC. On the giant server, on the hard server, on this server, you're going to get a bigger reward of ARC. And the reason for that is you should be rewarded for playing in higher difficulties. I have no clue what that is. That's interesting. That is also interesting. These are terrariums. They are locked. They seem to have dinosaurs in them. And keep in mind, Turtle Club also, I've not played any of the new stuff. Genesis 3? Well, that's silly, because Genesis stopped 2. Genesis 2. Okay, well, there we go. Genesis 1. So, it appears that some of these are just for the looks, maybe? For the lulz? Huh. Some are pretty cool looking little terrariums. So over here, on the map, this right here is the city, I believe is how it's got labeled. Oh, nope, not even there yet. Interesting. So this looks like some sort of like trading area, maybe, something along those lines. Or the map is just really bad. So here's some water. Deep water. Water is still one of those things that is the bane of my existence. Now, I would say, however, for the way you could expect this map to be, is this will probably be where you can actually trade water dinos if you needed to trade stuff. And I'd say this is probably where you could have the auction house and all that kind of stuff. So we're probably going to set that up there. Maybe, maybe not, though. You never know, right? Let's see. One would think, based upon that right here. So here's that gap that's on the map. I may have explored a lot of the outer stuff, and I'm still impressed with the size of this map. I mean, we've been here on this map for about 12 minutes, 15 minutes. Actually, just looked at YouTube. We've been on this for about 17 minutes here. And surprisingly, don't build in this area not finished. Okay. Well, that just makes me want to build in this area more, right? Alright, so let's see here. Move speed. Sure would like some kind of actual torch or something. But Gamma. So Gamma is enabled. I know there's a lot of people that like to play on Ark with Gamma enabled, and so we wanted to make sure that that was going to absolutely be supported on our actual cluster that we got. So this area here is not finished, but the question is the city not finished? And I'm betting that the city is in fact finished. So here we go running. Their little mini map, though, definitely leaves a little bit to be desired. Okay, so this says don't build. So keep that in mind. There is a strong chance that there won't be anything in those little dead areas. And there's some kind of buff here. So our event map happened as soon as we come to the city. And this is really weird looking. This is not what I expected when I looked on the map. I thought, oh, there's got to be a city there. Oh, is that a dino? Is that a dino or is that a statue? These are important questions we have to ask. So these are not lootable. Hey, Life of Caden Hatch, welcome. So this looks like it is just a statue. Interesting. Alright. Not too bad. Not too bad on that. This map does look like it's got a whole lot of potential, and I'm really looking forward to building on it and showing you guys what we can do as far as adminning on it goes. As far as it's put into the game, as it's basically been in here, it definitely does show that this has to be added and addressed by admins. But I wanted everyone, again, to kind of get a good look as to how this map looks before we start making some alterations to it. And as you can see, again, it's just huge and sparse in spots, and it's got various different areas. So there are 3, and I don't know why this map just doesn't like to be good looking. I mean, it really needs to have an update or two. Alright, let's go ahead and move our speed up again. Alright. But yeah, the server, once finished, and once it's completely been revamped, guys, it's going to have a whole passel of things that you probably want to be careful with. Because again, the difficulty on this server, this is going to be my little playground to make it as fun and as challenging as possible. It's going to be quite interesting. Now there are, again, for putting yourself on the hard server or playing on the hard server, there are benefits. You'll get an increased income from the arc bars. There will be better breeding stats. So that's another thing that you're going to want to check on this particular server. The harvest stats will be a little bit more elevated. Now, the core mod to this game for this whole cluster is, again, Arc Omega. The Arc Omega cluster. So the Arc Omega mod has built-in scaling difficulty based upon how you set up your server. So if you have increased harvesting, it does get more hard. If you have increased breeding, it does get difficult. If you have increased experience points, it also becomes further difficult. So some of the bonuses here. Oh, thank you, Kid Natch. I really appreciate that. So that's one thing that we definitely want to make sure people are aware of, is when you come here, you'll be able to, fight different various bosses. You'll be able to do a number of other things. But when you do the Arc Omega stuff, it is going to get a little bit on the crazy side. Now, once again, this is currently being worked on, so it is password protected. And we are going to travel to Dodo Island. And hopefully, we load into Dodo Island fairly quick, because the mods on all of the servers are the exact same list. This means when you transfer from server A to server B, all you're really having to load in is your character gear, your character items, any dinosaurs that you have uploaded, and then loading into the map. So this should also, for our people who are playing on the cluster, because we are keeping a complete, exact copy of all the mods, you're not going to have to load anything. Nothing has to be modded and loaded separately. So there's not like 15 different mods on this server to this server. So you're seeing here right now that we're just loading in the map. And we get 2 different places to spawn here. Beach 1 and Beach 2. Look at that beautiful map with that dodo. Oh my gosh. And we're going to spawn in. And this is where things are going to get really interesting. Because now we're going to start seeing some of those things on the server that are dinos that we may not recognize. Now, Dodo Island historically has very few carnivores, and these carnivores are toward the middle of the map. So this is going to be our really kind of light and easy map. This is going to be our easygoing map. And for the most part, we're going to see some basic kind of stuff. Now, this is a Psychosis Pterodon. Okay, I want you to understand that that is not your average pterodon. This pterodon does not care that we're here. He is not trying to fly away. So these are things that we don't know. These are things that we are not aware of. These are things that I've never seen before. So we have to be very, very careful. If we were to grab this egg, for instance, the Psychosis pterodon is probably going to kill us. Now, one of the things about Arcomega is that it is what's called a piggybacking mod. And it's beautifully done. So that's one of the reasons why we went with it. Arc, Primal, Fear, and Eternal, very similar. What they do is when a dinosaur would spawn, that's a beta ice pterodon. Again, I don't know what these things are. We're going to be discovering so many amazing things. If you guys have liked the mods Shiny and Rare Sightings in the past, this mod is going to be very similar to that. It's going to be very, very similar to how you're going to have so many different unique kind of dinos that you possibly never got across to. Now, the dino tiers, and I mean that as in like a first tier, second tier, third tier, not as in crying. The tiers of dinos in this game are built very much like other ones. And as you get up the scale, you get more and more unique kind of dinos. Now, when you kill certain dinos, you also can get certain kinds of gear. Now, we're just walking up to things that we shouldn't be. That's a volatile carbidimus. I don't know what volatile carbidimus means. So far, it means that it doesn't attack me, and I'm kind of cool with that. What is this? This is a volatile carbidimus's egg. All right. Now, one thing about this server I want to point out is we've also with the Hexen mod with the Omega mod, there is a way to increase egg production with dinosaurs, and we've actually increased that on this server. On the easy server, egg production has been increased. This means that in general, when a dinosaur processes their food and they go to do something along those lines, there's a 1 out of 10 chance, and we may scale that back. But there's a 1 out of 10 chance that instead of processing their food, they'll actually produce an egg. But we'll have to see. Just one moment here. Let's see what we got going on. Okay. And we just leveled up. So what we're waiting on kind of here, I'm just seeing here, look at this. A kibble machine. Craftable at Arcomega. A machine to craft and store all your kibble. Will keep them from spoiling. See, there's some really good quality of life mods in here too. So I'm looking forward to that. Tracker. I think we still can't get the Dino Tracker yet, so we're fine on that. But we're going to be exploring some of these things and seeing what we got. I'm pretty sure that anything that I wind up fighting is going to just wreck me, most likely. What's this? That's just a regular old dodo. That's just a regular old dodo. Hey, we could do something with regular old dodos. Now, one thing I also want to point out, and for the most part, what do we got here? A metal dodo. Look at that. Look how awesome that's looking. It's not aggressive. So true to the game so far, most of these dino variants are non-aggressive. So it's not so much about making the game itself harder with everything trying to kill you. If you start something though, you're going to be prime stone carbidimus, level 14. Over here, we got a level 10 siren pteranodon. So all these different variations, they're going to have different ways to capture. And that's going to be one of the things that I'm really looking forward to on this, is the fact that we're going to have to really bend our way of thinking. Now, we're still keeping to this little safety zone of the Dodo. See? And he colors in as we explore this map, unlike the other map that we were in. We color it in as we explore it. So, but a tsunami carbonemys. I mean, look at this. Some of these things are just insane. A shield Parasaur. And my understanding with this particular mod is that a lot of these different types of dinos, their tiering system also happens to play into their species. So like the shield Parasaur, we're going to be looking at, okay, here we go. Here's one of the very few things in the game that's going to be aggressive. And we can't do anything about that. So we're going to have to fight back. We're going to have to fight back. So we've been showing the mag, we've been showing the wild part, right? And now we're about to get to the versus part. So we're going to see what we can craft here. We're going to really rapidly craft us a hatchet. Inventory. Let's go ahead and equip that. And I've been playing so much Elder Scrolls Online that my button in muscle memory is just all sorts of bad. So let's just hopefully get some of this to us. And then I gotta go look at the brightly colored green Dodo. I mean, that's just insane looking, isn't it? What is this thing? That's just a wild female Dodo. That is wild. Okay. And remember, this is the easy server, so a lot of the things that we would expect have been accelerated. So here's our server. Here's our spear. Alright. And is there anything else that we can use that might make life easier for us? And the answer to that is resoundingly not quite yet. So back to our inventory, back to our crafting. We need wood to make our spear. Can we make an axe? Can we get us a hatchet? Hatchet's really going to do us some good. Can we make a hatchet? Right now, we can't. We need thatch. Alright. Movement speed is always our best thing that we get when we first start on a server. With our playstyle, with our natural inclination to want to not be nearby things to fight, it works really good for us. Make us a hatchet. Alright. Now we got us a hatchet, and now we can start doing things like get us some stone. Maybe make us a few of them spears. I'm encumbered, so we're about to make a couple spears. And well, I was really hoping I wasn't actually I was teasing when I said a couple, but alas, the game was not. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead. All right. We need some wood. Are we over encumbered? No, we are not over encumbered. We're just encumbered. Just encumbered. Okay. So we need some rocks. Now, Dodo Island, again, really great server as far as the map goes. And we need some wood. I said rocks. I meant wood. And now we are absolutely over encumbered. We'll up our weight limit once. Let's see, where are we at here? We can make some wood stuff. When we can make some really cool, look at this Archimega stuff. A health potion. Take some sedative and some crystals and some stimulant, and it's going to restore 2% of your health per second for 30 seconds. So that's a 60% of your health thing, right? That's quite impressive. This game is built to be a little bit less like Ark and a little bit more like an MMO in ways. with Arc Omega installed. And that's one of the things I'm really kind of looking forward to a bit. Now, there are some drawbacks. I do want to point that out. With making a game like this, we're going to put that there. Yeah. With making a game like this, there are some drawbacks. And those drawbacks are, you have to make some exceptions, right? And in order to make sure this gameplay is good with all the kids in the sandbox, usually you have a lot of balancing things, and you got to worry about other modders and all that stuff. And one of the approaches that Hexen has taken, I'm not 100% keen on, but I understand why they've done it. If you are fighting against an Omega Dinosaur, any Omega Dinosaur, and you're not fighting it with another Omega Dinosaur, you are going to have a problem. Because all of the Omega Dinosaurs have invincibility against non-Omega Dinosaurs. Now, as a player, you can do damage to them. Okay, let's go in here. Let's increase our weight limit again. Let's go here. Inventory. Oh! So look at this. Okay, this is what's about to kill us. See that? See that? Yeah, that is so about to kill us. So what we're going to do is we're going to let that be something else's problem for right now. A beta self-destructive dinosaur. Alright, so a level 7 Dilophosaur killed us. And instead of beach 1 or beach 2, let's go to beach 1. Sounds good. Sounds really good right now. So again, we're kind of on this like low-key, easy beach, easy going kind of place. And we are absolutely just going to let them run roughshod over there because, yeah. Now, another thing I do want to point out is the day and night cycle. We do have them adjusted. We should have about I want to say about a 14-minute night cycle. And the day cycle itself should be considerably... what are we missing? Wood. Alright, so we gotta keep hitting this until we get wood. That's thatch. That's not wood. Okay. But the day cycle should be about 3 times the night cycle. So for about every hour of gameplay, you're going to get about 15 minutes of darkness. And craft 1. And we do have that notification of the play dark. You can turn that off once you get an actual auto reward built. So now we just need wood. And so we're going to get a little bit more or a little bit more flint. And a little bit more thatch, or fiber rather. So our first versus wild went really poorly. We sort of expected that though. And again, Turtle Club, I want to show you guys basically this mod and how their dinos work, and we're going to be doing that largely during today's stream on the Dodo Island server. Because again, this server is the easier server. All the settings are tweaked to make this a little bit more user-friendly. Now look at this level 12 stuff that we just unlocked. Spiritual potions. Makes you ignore weight and stamina and move faster for a full 3 minutes. I mean, there's some pretty neat stuff here. Egg collector. Look at that. Level 12 egg collection. Respawn point. And that's a indestructible respawn point within a short cooldown. I mean, now they start taking things like essences, though. And what are those? Well, as you do knock out and manage to take out some of these dinosaurs, you will start getting essences from them. And that is a large part of the in-game economy for this, is essence. Alright. So now we've got some spears. Look at this. Look at that. That's a metal carbonamus. This thing looks like Metal Mario almost. That's pretty cool. So far, we found a few things that we really just didn't want to mess with at all. We found us a Dilophosaur that made explosions. And something called self-destructive beta self-destructive dinosaur. Now, that to me is still kind of up in a mystery. I mean, I really don't know what we were fighting there. I do know that one of the things that we have done on this server is we have changed the max dinos from level like 150, I want to say, down to either 20 or 50. I don't recall which. It's looking like 20 might be the number. And with 20, I keep thinking that we want to go to 50 to make it a little bit easier in general. But I think what we really want to do is make this less about breeding the proper and amazing and overpowered stats, and more about... Oh, we've completely passed where that guy was. So we are... Oh, we went to the right foot this time. So we need to go back to the left foot. And we want to make this more about catching dinos and discovering dinos. And the only way that we're really going to achieve that on this game is we got to make the breeding portion of the dinos a little bit less. Now, if this turns out to be a problem, again, this is going to be like the 2 weeks to 3 weeks of feedback portion of the server. Things that you may see or notice in the server that you would like to see changed. We'll definitely be able to do that. Look at that right there. I don't know what that is. I kind of want to spear it and see what happens, though. I don't think I can hit it from here, though. Oh. Well. Turtle Club, I can. Wow. My spear arm's a lot better than I thought it was. Wow, that might come back to really be a problem later. But you know, it's 6 o'clock right now, Turtle Club. I feel like that is a problem for like 7 o'clock's mag. Alright, this should put us at the... Yeah, there we go. There's the 18% speed movement that we know and love from previous streams. Generally speaking, on other games and mods, (118% movement speed is enough to beat anything. I don't know where the Dilophosaur that was causing all the explosions went. The Dilo is probably going to be the death of us. This is where my corpse was. Okay, that is a Rex. Not a Rex, a Trike. A Detonate. Detonate? No. Okay. I don't think we... I think we know what that other Dilo was now. That was a Detonate Dilo. I mean, it was just causing explosions everywhere it went. I don't know what that is. It is all sorts of interesting looking. Oh. Okay. Alright, so that looks like a Dilo. That is some sort of like Featherlight, which is not a native spawn on this map. I just want to throw that out there. Hello, little Featherlight. That's a Meltdown Featherlight? Oh. Oh, no. Where is it? There it is. I see it. Oh, we have hit this thing for well over what I consider reasonable. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Oh yeah. All we managed to do to that thing is make it angry. Oh, that was not something we wanted to miss. I don't know how many times we can hit this thing in the head and it just not care. What do we need? What do we need? We need flint. Oh, I have no clue what that was. Holy snikes. We need wood. What we really need quickly is Ebola. Oh, we have no hide. Oh my gosh. We have no hide for Ebola. But we need fiber also. Hey, look at this. We were provided for. The great RNG. Oh, it does not like us. It does not want us. Alright. A beta self-destructive Dilophosaur. Level 7. Keeps kicking us. Keeps getting us. Ooh, boy howdy. So one of these... Okay. There it is. Maybe. Thought I saw it's a little fiery. But I didn't. Oh my goodness. Alright. So, we have died a whole lot. Just gonna throw that out there in case anyone was curious as to how hard this game is. This is the easier server. Now, as Ark always is, right, though, there's a tipping point. So anyone who's not expecting to want to jump on a server that has interesting dinos, just remember, Ark does have a tipping point. Beta, knockback Pteranodon. Okay. Okay, so here is a Dilo. Up here. And I don't know if this is the one that was causing all the explosions or not. If I had to guess, I'd say probably. Whoa, okay. Alright, it is still alive. We need fiber. We need all the fiber. short a memory does this thing have? If I had to guess, based upon the fact it's still chasing... Oh no. Oh no 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 no. So let's... Alright, so... we need fiber. We need fiber for this too, so... Oh no. They've teamed up. Am I not getting fiber from these plants? Alright. That's good. You there. Need to be level 60 to open that. Okay, we're not level 60. This is why the 118% move speed is so super important. Now we need wood. Alright, I knew this thing hadn't forgotten about me. I am very confused as to why it ran away. I like knowing why things ran away. And that's clearly... Oh my goodness! Okay. Wow. All right. So, Pteranodon's pretty buff too. We'll just let that be what it is then. Okay, so for now, because it's tired of trying to kill us, and we are trying to kill it, what do we need to like mass produce these still? Flint, wood, fiber. All right. So there's some wood. And it just does not want us to do anything to even get a leg up. Look at it over there. It is stalking us. So we're going to very calmly stalk it back. And see what we can manage to get. Okay, so we're going to craft several more of these. So we know about 3 or 4 spears to the head do not phase these. They do not get phased by that at all. So let's see if we can up our game at all. There we go. Craft. What do we need for a bow? We need some wood. And we're going to up our melee damage. Alright. So fiber, of course, is what we always need. Fiber is one of those things that you don't really think about a lot. You don't really think about it a lot late game, right? I mean, fiber is like, okay, cool, we need it for some things, and you get on your dino, and you just go gather some fiber. I mean, it really is one of those things that just feels very inconsequential. But when you're doing early game arc, right? It's not. It's a totally different story. Alright, so what are we lacking on our arrows? We need thatch. We need lots and lots of thatch and fiber. Melee damage more and more. So lots and lots of thatch and fiber. Okay, we are encumbered. This is not good. We need an adult, and unfortunately on this server we are the adult. We can drop the stone and probably be okay. So the goal at this point is we're going to really hope this thing will just die if we pepper it with like 6 or 7 arrows. And just to get its attention, see, I still don't know what this thing does. I really don't. But so it's like 500, 600. All right. Oh, whoa. Wait a second. That was an alpha? Okay, well that explains a whole lot of us being super wrong about stuff. Oh, and I just jumped. I mean, I really wish we had the camera on for that one, Turtle Club, because my goodness. I think that whew. Yep, that's one of those whales. Alright. Glad to see those things are in Arc still. Alright. So arrows, surprisingly, still good. Not shockingly, but surprisingly. We need some more of those. That's for certain too. We need everything for that. So we need thatch. First off, let's get some fiber. Fiber, there we go. And what do we have that's so heavy in our inventory right now? Look at that. This is alpha essence. So I was telling you about these essences. So these essences are basically going to be used for other things. And you can see there's some tiering there. And some souls as well. These are basically when you carve up a dino, you get the essences from them. So you can do what we've kind of been doing and sort of go the carrion feeder route to where you can wait for things to be dead and you just kind of carve their bodies up afterwards and hope for the best. Stone and thatch. So let's get our thatch next. Now, one thing I do also want to point out is that we do have, at the moment, if you'll see here, this decomposes in 10 minutes. So when you popcorn things out, it does take about 10 minutes for it to decompose. So we got mostly basic timers for that stuff. Corpses we have set up for a little bit longer because people like to get their stuff. And we do have the death recovery mod. Death recovery mod is going to let you drop a tombstone once you die and recover your crafted items. On our servers, we're not going to let you just use it to basically use it as a teleport. You are going to have to make a decision as to if you want to just get to your base or if you want to have all of the stuff you harvested. So you're going to have to make some decisions there. So we're getting now where we can actually start fighting back. So as I had mentioned earlier in the stream, right? Arc, even no matter the mod, there is a tipping point where things begin to be a little bit easier. Now, could I have told you that this was going to be it? A little bit. I mean, a little bit. You get technology, you start winning the battle. That's the way most war is fought, right? Whoever has the better gear, whoever has the best equipment, tends to win. Now, there's a lot to be said for numbers, and I'm sure you all are aware that we are totally outnumbered by every single dinosaur on this map. We are human. They eat us. If we look at them funny, they eat us. If we make a really weird noise, they eat us. There's a lot going on in Ark that ends with us being eaten. Now, here is a corpse. It's got some stuff on it. Look at that. It's got another hour and a half. I wanted to point that out because on this server, where are we at? Wait, for me, we have way too much. We need to drop some berries, drop some more berries, drop a lot more berries, drop some more berries. Okay, now we can swim out of this before we drown, hopefully. There we go. So if you die on this server, again, and this server and the other server are very similar with how they've been set up. If you were to die on the server, you have 2 hours to go find your corpse, to find your stuff, to get a hold of it. So you do have decision making that has to be made. All right, here we go. Dino tracker. That's one of the things that we also want to showcase while we got a moment here. But we need metal for that. And for metal, that means we need us a forge. And for that, we're going to need some stuff. Alright. And we're going to need a foundation. And I'm going to go ahead and get the N plus stuff here. Because I've not messed with it. We're going to get a door. We're going to get a door frame. And then we're going to get a ceiling. So we're pretty safe in this little bitty area. We know there's a drop there, but over this way. So here is our next night cycle. So what do we need for these foundations? Thatch and wood. So we're going to look for thatch because it is going to be lighter. So we're going to do it with the pickaxe. And you can see we still didn't get enough. Now, one thing of note also is that these Omega Dinos, to my understanding, they absolutely can destroy and damage all types of materials. Now, the amount of damage they do is completely dependent on their tiers. But for the most part, you're not going to be able to just hide in your beach bob and hope for the best. I'm not 100% sure how I feel about that. You know, it's something that I'm not exactly keen on, but it is what it is. And we've got all these packages that we've dropped that are still, you know, they're still here. So if we can get a little bit of a shelter built fast enough. So we need some wood now. Alright. We still need thatch for basically everything, so I'm still going to be using the pickaxe largely for this. And if you guys have seen previous streams, you'll know that I am a very big time supporter of the 4x4 type base build. And lots of reasons for that. And it looks like our food's getting a little low. So let's go ahead and eat all of these. Alright. So we're going to up our melee damage a bit. We're sort of juggling back and forth because we're in such a strange new world. I really don't know where our best bets are to hedge at this point. I really don't. Alright, so we got 20 thatch. We still need so much thatch. On the plus side, once we defeated our arch enemy over here, the Dilophosaur, bane of beach bobs everywhere, right? I'm pretty sure, now that we got some foundations done also, that we should, not a guarantee, but we should be able to breathe a little bit easier. Again, one thing I want to point out, right, is we jumped on the server. We've been doing bare minimum kind of stuff. And we are just leveling up right along. We're at level 27. And as you can see, our max level, we have 135 as the max level. And there are a few things that are in the elite category. We're going to be putting a few things into the elite category as we go. Elite is basically things that you're going to be able to find outside of the normal ways. So you may find a blueprint from killing certain things. You may have to actually take certain items and spin them. You may have to, make some considerations to stuff. Like, for instance, one thing that is going to be done on the server is these essences. I'm going to have them be exchangeable for items. So you are going to, again, this is going to be more. Oh, we are freezing. We need some stone, of course. And I want to point out again that we got this set to Gamma 3. It is Gamma 3, so you guys can see it a little bit. On my computer screen, I got the Gamma turned down a little bit, so you all are able to see it in the stream a lot better than what I can see. And that's kind of by design. Alright, so we're going to put in no wood, it would appear. So we're going to split the stack. Split stack half. And put this over there. Light fire. Now, one thing to point out, I know you out there in Turtle Club Land are probably asking yourself, Mag, why is the dark so late? Why are we doing? What's going on? Why is it that we're having dark? And the answer to that is that there are certain species of dinosaurs in Omega that only show up at night. They only spawn at dark. They work very similar to those wonderful, horrible, sleepy dinos on vanilla. Alright, so we are going to make one ceiling, and we're going to make a couple of walls. So the reason why we have this dark, the reason why we have the night, is because those dinos are part of the gameplay. They are part of the experience. There are certain tiers and certain species that only are going to spawn them. And we want to be able to experience everything this mod has to offer. And the only way we're really going to be able to do that is we got to make sure that we let everything get its chance to live. Alright, and so now, go over here. Put that there. So now we have this little bit of a shelter. Not much, but a little bit. So we can basically go back to things like walls and floors. And we need all of the thatch and all of the wood. So now we're going to start popping into our fortitude. We hadn't really been using that a lot, but now that we got some rain and some cold, fortitude kind of becomes an important necessity. One thing to show is we are doing the pickup thing. You can pick up anything that you build, and it is for as long as you want to. So that is put in here. Sometimes we do the server where it's like, okay, you build it, it's there. Sorry. This time especially because we're dealing with Arc Omega, and it is a very big unknown for a lot of us that will be playing on the server. I wanted to make sure that we had the ability to grow and learn with the server. And the only way that it works is if we have the ability to learn from our mistakes without being super penalized from them. So, alright, and we want us to have a door. And let's see that the wall. So we're starting to get us some shelter here. Now, one thing to mention, Turtle Club, is when we do get to where this opens up for everybody. Clearly, some of these things are not going to be here. Like my little bitty beach ball base, it's not going to be here. There's going to be some other things for other people. Hey, here we go. Lots of walls. And actually, let's make a couple of ceiling tiles. Make one ceiling tile, make another wall, make another ceiling tile. Make some more fortitude. So, wall. And then ceiling tiles. So this is starting to look like a place, isn't it? Look at that. Oh my gosh. Turtle Club, I would love to tell you that the next 20 minutes of this stream is not going to be me going to the store and letting it open and then away from the store. And so we're going to say that. But remember the last time we played, and for the longest time on and off camera, we were playing a mod server that had no mods, right? It was our Epic Mag with Rag server. And oh my goodness, you know, when you play on a server for that long, for all that time, I need stone. But when you play for all that time and you don't have some very basic quality of life mods, when you get them back, it just makes you appreciate life. It really does. All right, so let's go ahead and make some wheat biscuits. I want to point out too, the spawn rate on this material is pretty rapid. And again, this particular server is the easier server. So if you need to turtle up and you need to make yourself a little base here, and you need to prepare for the worst and really just kind of get ready for the Dino Apocalypse, this server is built for that. This server absolutely has got you, and it knows that it knows its thing, right? It knows that is its function, it's its purpose. This server is not meant to be the difficult server. It's meant to allow you to kind of get a foothold and to progress. Now, one thing to reiterate is on this map, we're pretty much going to have most of the dodo itself to be non-buildable. Hey, McAdoo! Good morning to you. We are playing some Ark. We got a new cluster we're working on. It's going to have 3 maps. One is Dodo Island, one is Anza, and one is an event server that we are going to totally sculpt the way we're wanting it to be. And I'm looking forward to seeing how it all plays out. And over the next 3 weeks, we're going to showcase things. The core mod on this server is going to be Arc Omega. And so far, it has cleaned our clock pretty thoroughly, as we expected it to. But we are slowly but surely learning what we got to do to kill things. Hope you're doing well also, McAdoo. Glad to see you again. So, what do we have that's so heavy? Nothing really, except for these foundations are just really super heavy. Not familiar with those maps. Well, so that's I find that to be a good thing. I like finding new maps. So the really fun thing about this is this map, it's dodo shaped. I mean, how much cooler can it be than that? It is a very small map. As you get off the dodo legs, which are the beach, it does become a little bit more harder. And you can see from where I'm at right now, You can see that tree line right up there. That is the map proper. Now, it does have every single biome that you could think that you would want. It does have a little bit of lava. It does have some ice. I mean, it is really what I've always seen in Ark as a beginner map. And it works really well for that. So, like, if you're trying to test some mods out, or if you're trying to teach some people how to play, that kind of thing, this map I've always found to be really, really, really good for that. Really good. Like, thoroughly, just smashingly good. What do we need for more biscuits? We need some more thatch. The funny thing is, it also has... It's got some humor to it. So... So if you look at the dodo here, if you see the little bitty kind of wishbone formation that's looks like the water feature there is a waterfall. And if you look to the left or the west of that water area, the water becomes foul. It becomes swampland. If you look at the beak, that's mountainous kind of rocky stuff. And so it's like a hardened beak. And there are a couple of really neat stuff, secrets and stuff on this particular island, which I found to be kind of like an interesting like little Easter egg type thing. So it's definitely a really fun map. Anza, I've never played. And it just looks like it would be really cool. Oh. That's unfortunate. That is super unfortunate. I'm sorry to hear that. I had really, 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 really spotty internet for a while. I was actually going to be streaming this last week, and Comcast decided that we didn't need to do that. Comcast was like, "No, Mac, you just think you need to play Ark. What you really need to do is suffer for a little bit." And so we suffered for a little bit. We paid our internet dues again, and lo and behold, they fixed the internet finally. I think we're about to get encumbered again to where we don't want to be. But yeah, so one of the... Oh, wow. Okay. Well, I'm glad you got that sorted. But yeah, limited internet's never... Limited internet's never one of those things that I thoroughly enjoy. I've done some limited internet connections before. My work, for what I do, especially because I'm work from home, we can't do that anymore. We really can't. Between streaming, being what it is, and all that, we just had to bite the bullet and get the unlimited data package, which costs a little bit more, but it's not too horrible. On the balance, it's not too horrible. I should say it that way. It's still pretty bad, but it's better than having to pay the overages, which were going to happen no matter what. Alright, so we got our little foundation for our 4x4. And so now we need to get some walls, and by that we need a lot of walls. But before we do that,